Going back to the NFL draft, I thought the quarterback that went to the worst spot was Drake Maye going to the Patriots. Not a lot around him. And I think for me already, just a few days into rookie minicamp and a few days into his new Patriots tenure, I think we can already say Drake Maye is not going to be the franchise quarterback of the Patriots going forward. And it really has nothing to do with him, to be honest with you. It's the fact that the situation he has been put in. That Patriots roster stinks. There is not a lot right now of talent on the offensive side of the ball. And the reason why that is important is because for Drake Maye, in order as a rookie, right, to develop, improve, get better, have a chance to, make it as a franchise quarterback, I think early on you need help. You need a players, a unit, a coach that can take pressure off your shoulders. There are very, very, very few and far between circumstances where quarterbacks can come into a situation that is helpless on their side of the ball, put on their Superman cape, and carry that team to victory and lead them to success. Andrew Luck is a guy that comes to mind where he came in right away with the Colts with not a lot on offense and got them to the playoffs in year number one. C.J. Stroud, although I will say the Texans roster, I think now looking back with the benefit of hindsight, was more talented than we thought when he was first drafted there. But either way, still, he obviously, right, defied every logic possible in terms of what the Texans could accomplish last year and winning the division and going to the playoffs and winning a playoff game. But very few and far between cases where you have no talent on offense, you draft a rookie quarterback high in the draft, you throw him in and expect him to succeed, and he does. It doesn't happen. And more times than not, most of the time, those quarterbacks in that situation, highly drafted, big-time results expected, not a lot of talent around them, they bust out. They don't work. They don't develop enough franchise quarterbacks. And that's what I think is happening, or will happen, I should say, to Drake Maye. But, I should just go back to what I said. It is happening as we speak. I want to play something from Gerard Mayo that really caught my attention over the weekend. Rookie minicamp has just started. Right, few days, get the rookies in there, put the helmets on, get them running on the field, run a few plays, learn teammates, learn kind of how the practices are. Very elementary stuff. Well, it took Gerard Mayo all of one day to share so far the progress or maybe lack thereof when it comes to Drake Maye. Listen to the Patriots head coach on what he saw from Drake Maye on, remember, this is day one of rookie minicamp.
Early impressions of Drake, look, he has a lot to work on. But I have no doubt that he'll put the time in. So, I know you guys saw him out. Well, you didn't see him out here yesterday, but, he was here all night trying to get, on the same page as everyone else. So.
A lot to work on after just one day. Here's why that's a concern. Because I think it's easy to say, Ryan, you're overreacting. You're being too critical on a kid. Give him space. Let him get there. Let him breathe. Let him actually get to a real practice with veterans before you start, already sending out vibes of concern. Here's why, though, I don't think it's too early to panic if you're a Patriots fan. Again, this has really nothing to do with Drake Maye. I think coming out of UNC, we could say he was not a finished product. Right? He wasn't a project like, let's say, guys like Josh Allen and Anthony Richardson were coming out of Wyoming and Florida, respectively. Drake Maye is more polished, but he still has rough edges, right? He's still not a finished product. He still has development and areas of improvement to work on to get better. The problem, though, is, like we talked about in the open, the Patriots don't allow him a system this year to really improve and get better. Here's what I mean by that. I want to look at two cases right now of quarterbacks that developed very nicely. Jalen Hurts and Josh Allen. Two different journeys to their team. Two different, journeys to becoming two of the best quarterbacks in the league. But what they have in common is both Hurts and Allen were able to develop on their respective teams because of what they had around them. When Allen came in, it was a massive project, massive wild card. Jalen Hurts, at least from my perspective, I had massive doubts about Jalen Hurts, his ability to become a franchise quarterback in the NFL, because I didn't think his style of play translated to the NFL. I didn't think he was actually going to be a good enough thrower to be successful and to be an every down quarterback. But to his credit, to Allen's credit, they obviously, right, have defied all of those odds and are now two of the best quarterbacks in the league. But what they have in common, despite their paths and their question marks being different, and they have in common is they both went to situations in Buffalo and Philadelphia, respectively, where there was talent, or at least there was an area that they could rely on to help them out. Right? They had decent offensive lines that could block for them and give them time. They had other areas, whether it was coaching. Remember with Josh Allen, I mean, he had Brian Daboll there as his offense coordinator from the jump. Daboll's done a tremendous job, I think, developing quarterbacks and really helped Allen take a big leap throughout his career. But he had coaching Allen could rely on. You've had the run game, whether it was Hurts in Philadelphia, he can rely on. The Bills and Eagles both had situations within the team where they could take pressure off their quarterback. They didn't need Allen, they didn't need Hurts to come in day one and carry the team. Be Superman and lead us to victory. Be our savior and help us. They were able to have, whether it's a unit, a player, a coach, in place to take pressure off their young rookie quarterback, to make their first year and development easier. I think you need that. If you put it all on a rookie quarterback's shoulders, if they're not ready, it crushes them. It absolutely crushes them. We've seen it time and time again. There's a reason why teams like the Jets are always picking in the top 5, always picking quarterbacks, and 3 years later, picking a new one. And I think there's a reason why now we're seeing the Patriots, once Tom Brady left, starting to be one of those repeat top 5 teams, now picking a quarterback every 3 years. Why is that? Because their offense is not good. They don't have anybody on their team that can make their young quarterback's job easier. And if you don't have that answer, I don't know how you're succeeding. Unless you are, again, 1 in a million. Unless you're the next Andrew Luck, which I don't think Drake Maye is, I don't know how he's having success in New England. Like going into 2024, let me ask you this question. Very simply, what do you think the Patriots do best on offense? Like if you were to say the strength of the Patriots offense is, I'll let you think here for a second. Okay, well, what would you say it is? If you're saying nothing, if you're right now still thinking of what is it? I don't know. Can they run it? Maybe. Are they good enough to throw it? Not really. Coaching staff? I don't know about that either. You're right. There is no answer. There's not one thing you could say right now definitively the Patriots do well, and that is alarming. There's no run game for Maye to rely on to take some pressure off his plate, to make defenses think twice about how to defend him each and every week. Last year, the Patriots, 25th in the league in terms of yards per carry. I don't see that improving much this year. Ramondre Stevenson is back. Offensive line didn't get, remarkably better from last year to this year. So you struggled to run the ball last year. I expect you to struggle to run the ball this year as well. And so if you are the bottom of the barrel, again, in terms of yards per carry, why would defenses respect the run? Why would defenses sell out to stop the run game when you don't run it very well in general? Which means then, what's going to happen? More defenders playing the pass. More DBs on the field to limit your ability to throw the ball deep and to limit your ability to have completions. And so now I think Drake Maye is already behind the 8 ball because he's not going to have a run game to rely on to make his job easier. And then when you look at who's catching the ball for him, is there any game breakers out there? Is there any receiver that can, on third down, you feel like, okay, I can trust this guy. He's going to make a play. Well, let's go through it really fast here. Demario Douglas. Is that a name that scares anybody? No, didn't think so there. Jalen Polk, who was, to his credit, rookie out of Washington, part of that explosive, high-flying, passing-first offense with the Washington Huskies that went to the national title game last year. He was part of that offense, but he was also the third option. You had Rome Odunze, you had Jalen McMillan, and then you had Jalen Polk. So you have some explosiveness somewhat, but also the third option for a Huskies offense. And again, he's a rookie receiver. I think hard to ask a lot from him right away to become a instant playmaker and an instant threat to an offense. And then finally, is anyone with the Patriots, that's a fan of a team with the Patriots on your schedule next year, anyone sitting there going, oh boy, how the hell are we going to slow down Kendrick Bourne? My God, you talk about a guy who's going to have a field day against us when we play New England. We are in big-time trouble when we play the Patriots because we don't have a body. We don't have even an entire unit that could slow down the ever-dangerous Kendrick Bourne. Those are the receivers. We can add Juju Smith-Schuster in there as well. Those are the receivers that Drake Maye is going to rely on in year one to try to make his job easier. Does anyone think that those receivers are going to be making plays consistently for Drake Maye to help improve his development in year number one? I don't think so. So it goes back to my whole point. If there is no one on this offense that can take pressure off of Drake Maye, what the Patriots are doing is taking Drake Maye, who, to use a swimming analogy, can't swim, throwing him in the deep end and says, figure it out, kid. But not even throwing him in the deep end, throwing him in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean in the middle of a hurricane. Gale force winds whipping around and saying, swim to shore. Figure it out. Odds are he's going to drown. You can't ask a person who can't swim and to drop them in the middle of a hurricane in the Atlantic Ocean and expect them to swim to shore safely. Just like you can't expect a rookie quarterback to go in there with an offense that has no weapons, no one scaring you whatsoever, no playmakers to make your job easier, no one strength of the offense to take pressure off your young rookie quarterback. You can't put him in there and expect him to succeed. And so I think the Patriots 3 years from now are going to be right back in the top 5 and drafting a rookie quarterback all over again, not because Drake Maye stinks. It's not Drake Maye's fault. It's the Patriots' fault. Because they decided, no weapons, no problem. We're going to make it happen. We have to draft a quarterback because everyone says so we're going to take one. They could have taken Marvin Harrison Jr. They could have started to build an offense and started to get some weapons on their team to when either you draft a quarterback in a year or two, or you maybe make a trade or sign a free agent. Whatever it may be, make your offense attractive for quarterbacks to want to be there and make their life easier. Instead, the Patriots are taking the hard route. We got no talent, but we're going to take you anyway. Hey, and you better succeed, because if not, we're going to be blaming you in 3 years. Just like they did with Mac Jones. I don't think Mac Jones is very good. Never a Mac Jones guy coming out of Alabama. He was elevated by the talent around him. Without a doubt, he did not make them better. They made him better. With that said, if you look back at Mac Jones's 3 years, can we truly say he was the main problem? Can we truly say the Patriots did everything they could to give him a chance to succeed and Mac Jones just stunk? I can't say that. When you have Matt Patricia calling plays for you, being your offensive coordinator for an entire season, forget the guys he's throwing the ball to. When you have that guy calling plays for you, can we really sit here and say, oh yeah, Mac Jones is put in a position to succeed? The answer is no. And that's why I already look at Drake Maye. I already hear Gerard Mayo's comments about Drake Maye and think, oh boy, he's screwed. He is in big time trouble already. I think 3 years from now, Patriots already looking for a new quarterback because Drake Maye is not going to work out in New England. Not because of Maye, but because instead of the lack of talent around him.